From the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KARK4 News at 4.
It is hard to imagine the magnitude of the flooding. It is difficult to comprehend. We've never seen this before. We've never had to deal with this before.
We need prayers. We need people to be calm. We need a caring heart. We need patience.
We have over 500 homes that have been affected here in Arkansas thus far, and that's probably a conservative number.
Lots of us don't have flood insurance, so I really don't know what to do next. I keep praying.
Rising waters forcing hundreds to evacuate their homes, leaving many wondering what the future holds. Good afternoon. I'm Rebecca Jeffrey. Thanks for joining us at 4 p.m. President Donald Trump declaring Arkansas's historic flooding a national disaster. Take a look at this video. Meteorologist Hayden Nix getting a bird's eye view of the historic flood across Arkansas. Several points along the Arkansas River are at record flood stages, and a levee has breached in Yell County, forcing more evacuations today. From across Arkansas to the nation's capital, we have team coverage this afternoon. We want to begin with Stephanie Sharp in Yell County. And as we mentioned, a levee breached this morning. And Stephanie, when you thought the situation couldn't get worse, a levee breaks, forcing more people from their homes. Steph.
Yeah, Rebecca, that's exactly right. A levee breach was the last thing folks here in Yell County wanted to hear. And if you take a look behind me, this road is covered with water. And just to give you a little bit of perspective on how fast the water is coming up, earlier today around noon, we were able to easily pass this road, get to the other side, closer to that levee breach where it happened overnight. But the water quickly covering the roads. You can see folks here in the area, they're trying to get what they can out to get it back to higher ground, higher land. We spoke with one man who lives close to this area. It's not just the people here that are trying to get out, but the wildlife as well. There is a deer that's stuck in one of the fences here. They're trying to, that's also trying to get to higher ground. Now these farmers, they're going out to be able to try to cut this deer out of the fence. So it is just affecting everyone. But talking about that levee, it did breach overnight. People in the area, they frantically evacuated their stuff out. One neighbor, she says there could still be livestock back in that area. They're hoping to get all of those livestock and all of the things back to higher ground. As for the record-breaking flood, it continues, and now these folks in this area, they just have to sit back and wait to see where else this water goes.
My boyfriend actually helped get a lot of hay out this week. 100 bales, there's still more.
And again, here are more people trying to get to the other side, trying to get what they can out because it is a very historic flood. A lot of people, they don't know exactly where this water is going to go because of that levee breach. So they really are just hoping for the best, but obviously preparing for the worst. And I understand that this is not the only place affected by the flood on the Arkansas River. Tonight, our own Keith Monahan, he's live in Little Rock. And Keith, what did the water's level look like where you are?
Well, they continue to rise across much of the river system throughout the state of Arkansas, Stephanie, except at Dardanelle. And you did talk about that levee breach that did occur this morning. Believe it or not, river levels have been falling in Dardanelle because of that breach. The river had been around 46 feet just before the breach occurred at that levee near Ola Bend. However, it has been falling. It fell about 1.5 feet during the course of the day today and continues to fall. It will continue to do so until all of that area that the levee is draining into becomes level with the river, and then the river is expected to once again start to rise. Taking a look at the graphics, we still are expecting a crest of around 46 feet out at Dardanelle as we head through a little bit later on in the weekend. Further downriver, we are looking at a continued rise in the river at Morrilton. Current stage is at 42.69. We are expecting a crest of 43.5 Sunday afternoon. Downriver near Toadsuck, Lock and Dam. Of course, breaching of the levees there is still going to be possible. Levees protecting that area up to about 283 feet above sea level. The current stage right now, 284.67 feet above sea level. A crest of 585 feet is expected on Monday. And of course, right here in Little Rock, the river continues to rise. We are growing very close to the 1990 flood record and the 1957 flood record. Current river level here in the capital city, 27.52. We are expecting a crest the middle of next week, Wednesday, around 29 feet. We're just inches away from the 1990 flood level of 27.6 and not too far away from the record flood level of 1957, which is about 27.8.9. That probably will occur a little bit later on this evening into early tomorrow. But again, the river is expected to continue to rise to that crest near 29 feet by the middle of next week. Rebecca?
Keith and Stephanie, thank you for that live report. Now, all week we've been telling you about RDOT's efforts to keep us all safe. And the iDrive Arkansas map is available online or as an app on your phone. It shows roads that are currently closed, roads that are flooded, and even alternate routes. Very important for us right now. Now, you can also look at real-time live streams of problem spots to see what it looks like in your area. In Pulaski County, some people in North Little Rock are entering day 4 of sandbagging their homes to prevent rising floodwaters from moving in. The city of North Little Rock set up at least 4 locations where they dump sand for people who wanted to use it. And we spoke to one man who lived in the area the last time it flooded similar to this back in 1990.
I've got sandbags around my foundation. I'm worried more about the pressure, the way it's moving, and the debris that's coming down the river. That's what I'm kind of worried about.
This area of the river is expected to rise nearly 3 more feet by the time it crests. Here in the capital city, construction is underway for the Riverdale levee, which means Riverfront Drive is closed in 2 sections at Cottondale Drive and Rebsman Drive. Now, these closures are to protect the property inside the levee system for the Riverdale Levee District. KARK 4's Haley Brooks is live from Riverdale. And Haley, what are you seeing over there?
Rebecca, we're seeing a lot of construction. You can see it behind me. They're building up this part. There's sandbags on the other side, and they have done a lot of progress since this morning. It has changed a whole lot, and you definitely cannot drive through here at all. Now, down this way is where all the traffic is being diverted. There's big road closed sign up, and people are being rerouted. But you can see that a lot of people, too, are stopping to come to see what's going on. Everyone's curious about the progress. Now, there are only 2 roads you can take to get into this area. They are Cedar Hill Drive and Riverdale Road. I spoke with the woman, Melissa Daniker, who lives on this road, and she came to check out the progress, but is still feeling uneasy about how well the levee will hold the water. She told me just a few nights ago her apartment was flooded because of the rain, and now she's worried about any water threats.
My neighbors and I are going to go to War Memorial. They have sandbags already prepared. They're open 24 hours. So we're going to go there, get some sandbags, and just hope for the best.
Daniker said the city is preparing for the worst case scenario with the levee updates. So the sandbags, she is hoping for just another level of protections. I spoke with others in the area who are not risking it and are just leaving the area. Now, if you live in Pulaski County and you are wanting sandbags, you can head over to our website for a list of the locations. Reporting live in Little Rock, I'm Haley Brooks. Back to you.
They are a hot commodity now, Haley. Thank you. One of the biggest problems is at the Garrison Bridge in Fort Smith, which connects Arkansas to Oklahoma and is used to transport goods every day. That bridge has been closed for the past several days because of this flooding. U.S. Representative Steve Womack says it's not just the state feeling the impact of flooding, but also farmers.
It's $23 million each day in economic benefit to our state. And whenever it's not operational, we lose that economic benefit.
They've been already hit by tariffs. They've been hit by low commodity prices, and now this. And I just fear that in some cases we're going to lose them from that enterprise.
The governor already signed 2 emergency proclamations that set aside $350,000 for the state's response. Meanwhile, the president signed a national declaration of emergency for the state of Arkansas last night. President Trump's action authorizes FEMA to coordinate disaster relief efforts in the state. And that's where we bring in KARK4's Washington correspondent, a familiar face, Jesse Tenner. Great to have you. But Jesse, what exactly does this flooding mean for those, or what does this mean for those impacted by flooding?
Yeah, Rebecca, thanks for having me. It's great to be back. This allows FEMA to provide assistance to 16 of the 75 counties in Arkansas that have been hit hardest by this flooding. This federal aid offsets the state and local resources at 75% of the cost. In some cases, in the most dire circumstances, we could see that increase to 90%, but we haven't seen that in this case. So what does the funding go to? It goes to everything from supplies like generators and sandbags to providing shelters and medical care, to even things like search and rescue efforts and security. You'll also see it go to helping communities pump water out of these flooded homes that we've been seeing, and tearing down damaged buildings. And Arkansas may not be at this point yet, but all of the standing water is also, of course, major breeding grounds for what Arkansans refer to as bird-sized bugs in the summer. That's, of course, mosquitoes. If they become a rampant enough problem, some of these funds could go to spraying that and cutting down on the problem as well. Now, Trump has done this, declared an emergency for neighboring states, Oklahoma and Missouri, where a lot of the water in Arkansas is coming from. And Trump approved Arkansas just one day after Governor Asa Hutchinson requested it, also backed by the state's congressional delegation, which, of course, you've been hearing a lot from, too, since they're home there surveying it for themselves on recess. And Rebecca, like you said, Hutchinson has already approved $350,000 in just state funds. So yeah, more on the way.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Jesse, for clearing that up. And I know a lot of people are wondering how exactly this national declaration will be helping them in the future. Thank you so much. Well, another reminder that Red Cross has shelters open for people who can't stay at home. And if you need to stay in one, there's one at the Don Owen Center in Conway, another one at the Dardanelle Community Center. There's also a shelter at the Evangel Temple in Fort Smith. And remember, you don't have to have proof of ID or address or anything like that, but be sure to bring clothes, bedding, toiletries, and any medications you may need. We will have more coverage on these historic floodwaters coming up later in the broadcast. Plus, we've also posted extended interviews, videos of the latest information from the National Weather Service, and we are constantly updating that info. Take the KRK News team on the go by using our KRK mobile app or KRK.com. We'll be right back.
From KARK4, your weather authority, Arkansas's certified most accurate forecast.
Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, we are live at a very angry and fast-moving and dangerous Arkansas River here on the Little Rock side. You know, yesterday we were over in North Little Rock, earlier this week out in Dardanelle. The river is going to continue to be dangerous not only for the next several days as we approach crest. However, for probably the next 4 to 5 weeks, the river will be running very high. I would surmise to say that it probably won't be safe to be on the river again until sometime in early July. Looking now at the base of Junction Bridge, that rail that you see, that actually leads to the actual Little Rock, the namesake of the city of Little Rock, where French explorers first touched their feet onto what was once then the Louisiana Territory. We are going to continue to see water levels rise all across the system as we head through the next several days. Crest, of course, will be working their way from west to east, and they already are near cresting, the river level that is, out across far western Arkansas. But we're going to start once again our tour of the river conditions out in Dardanelle, where of course we had that levee breach earlier today. The river before the breach was just shy of 46 feet. After the breach, the river fell to its current level, 44.46 feet, and will continue to fall until the area where the levee breached is at the level of the river. Then it is forecast to rise once again to a crest of 46 feet by Sunday afternoon. Further downstream, taking a look look at the Morrilton area. We're going to continue to see the river rising from a current stage of 42.69 to a crest of 43.5. Once again, that'll be Sunday afternoon. At Toadsuck, the Toadsuck Lock and Dam, current conditions show a stage of 284.67 feet. The gauge there is measured at feet above sea level. A crest of 286 feet is expected early next week, keeping in mind that the levees only are guaranteed to protect parts of the Toadsuck area in Perry County Drainage District 1 up to about 283 feet. So obviously going to be a lot of caution in that area as we head through the next several days, with the river expected to be well above the top of the effective level of the levees. Little Rock, 27.52 feet, getting very close to the 1990 flood and 1957 flood levels. It is expected to crest at 29 feet on Wednesday, June the 5th. So we've got another 5 days to wait for the crest here in the city of Little Rock. Down in Pine Bluff, current river level is at 48.44 feet. Crest of 51 feet is expected next Thursday afternoon. And down in Pendleton, you folks have a whole nother week of rising waters, currently at 33.81 feet. The record is 34.1. A crest of 36 is expected next Friday. Fortunately, the weather has been cooperating with efforts to keep folks safe. We haven't been looking at any bad weather over the past couple of days. Temperatures today generally holding in the 80s to around 90 degrees. In the capital city, it is mostly sunny. The current temperature stands at an 86-degree temperature, which is pretty comfortable given this time of year. Dew points in the mid-50s, so the heat index actually lower than the temperature. Winds northwest at 15, and the barometer is currently falling. Now, the setup we've got for the next couple of days is going to be one of transition. We are going to be watching an area of low pressure and a cold front continue to press southward from the western Great Lakes and northern plains. As high pressure moves east of the Mississippi River, by Sunday afternoon, we will begin to see moisture start to increase. So we are expecting a dry night tonight and a mostly sunny and dry day for your Saturday. However, as the front approaches from the north and moisture increases on Sunday, there could be a couple of showers, especially in northern Arkansas. Slightly higher rain chances will continue Monday into Tuesday as that front essentially becomes nearly stationary across the state. But by the middle of next week, that front will be lifting back to the north as a warm front. We're going to see a surge of tropical moisture coming in from the Gulf, and with the approach of another area of low pressure and cold front, much better shower and thunderstorm chances, and some of that rain could be rather heavy, and it looks to remain unsettled throughout the upcoming work week. Tonight in Little Rock, we are looking for clear skies down to 65. For your day on Saturday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high up to 92. Crane team weather impact number as far as weather conditions are concerned, a 0 right on through Sunday. For the next 7 days, get all the outdoor yard work you need done Saturday and Sunday, because we are looking at small rain chances Sunday afternoon, but much better shower and thunderstorm chances with temperatures not quite as warm as we head into the upcoming work week. So, Rebecca, at this point, it looks like we are going to be seeing additional rainfall. Too early to tell on what kind of impact it's going to have on the river. Of course, the heaviest rain the further west of Little Rock and west of Arkansas occurs. That's where we'd have to watch for additional rises in the river. Back to you.
All right, Keith, that is not something that we want to hear right now, but we do want to help those affected. Here at KRK, we are joining forces with our sister station, Fox 16, to help those affected by these historic floodings. Now, this Wednesday, we will host a telethon with the Red Cross all day and in every newscast. It starts at 5 a.m. Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Watching KARK4 News at 4.
Here at KRK, we are joining forces with our sister station, Fox 16, to help those affected by this historic flooding. This Wednesday, we will be hosting a telethon with the Red Cross all day and in every newscast. So we are hoping for people to be very generous to folks who have been impacted so severely by these storms. Well, that does it for us here on KRK4 News at 4. We continue our team coverage of the rising floodwaters in 2 minutes. Mallory is getting ready for you, our switcheroo. Have a great weekend.